Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am back to the bricks. I tried the black screen for a little bit, was experimenting, because if you're a creative, you gotta experiment a little bit. That's why Palantir is a very creative company, and they just experimented on some breaking news that we're gonna talk about today. But we're back to the bricks. One day we're gonna have a different set, but I think the bricks, they do me well for now. Big news. Big news. And we knew this news was coming back in November when Palantir announced their partnership with Accenture. Now they are formalizing it, and we are here. Palantir Foundry and Accenture, this came out yesterday, April 6th, have joined forces to be able to launch a new Accenture Palantir Foundry studio that's going to be very, very interesting to talk about. So let's read a little bit out the press release, and then let's get deeper into what this actually means. In the past few years, companies have had to learn how to navigate an increasingly volatile world life with conflict, disruptions, and instability. Doing so requires finding new ways to remain agile, resilient against rapidly changing circumstances. Palantir and Accenture have worked with enterprises around the world to accomplish this largely by unlocking the value of the data inherent in day-to-day operations. Remember, Accenture is a global consulting firm, and Accenture is a very big consulting firm. If we go to Accenture stock right now, $341, it was in 2017, $114, so basically doubled over the past couple of years, or even tripled. And it's a consulting firm that does well. They work with pretty much every single company in the world. That consulting firm has a lot of relationships because they work with like almost every company in the world. So them integrating with Palantir is a really, really unique partnership for the following reasons, and we're going to get into those. The value of answers. What would it look like for decision makers to have near instant answers to questions that span the entire breadth of global enterprises, from the supply of raw materials to finished goods in consumer hands and everything in between? Today, many of these answers to all these questions exist in the form of data. However, due to the complexity and scale of modern businesses, there are so many elements to a modern enterprise. The answers are inaccessible in incompatible formats, siloed systems, and more. Yet it has never been more critically important to have full visibility across an enterprise. So we know that enterprises need data to be able to make sense of the things that they're doing, but the problem is it is hard to actually get that data to come together and then be able to make sense of it. For example, every few weeks, supply chains can be broken due to labor shortages, trade regionalization, port congestion, and so much more, like a world war to some extent. Not a world war, but you get what I'm saying, like things in a war that affects the whole world. Course correcting in the face of these increasingly frequent disruptions requires a near real-time holistic view of your organization, insights on how events ripple out to impact adjacent nodes in your chain, and the capability to operationalize the insights garnered from these insights. Basically saying, look, bad stuff happens. What do you do when bad stuff happens? And can you potentially predict how to solve the bad stuff that happens or mitigate the effect of the bad stuff that happens before it even happens or before the full effect of it even happens? Now, this is getting into the partnership. Palantir and Accenture have both worked to provide innovative solutions that empower their clients to help meet these challenges head on. We're now excited to announce a new partnership between Palantir and Accenture, highlighting the force multiplier Palantir Foundry, which is their flagship software, represents to Accenture's clients, meaning Accenture has already started recommending their clients to Palantir Foundry. Accenture Applied Intelligence is working with Palantir to build an innovation center, the Accenture Palantir Studio, housing over 1,000 experts on Foundry who will build and design new cutting-edge solutions. With the creation of this new innovation center, Accenture will be expanding their capabilities in Palantir Foundry to bring newfound value to their clients. Let's talk about that and break that down before we even continue to move on. The Accenture Palantir Studio. 1,000 experts who know Foundry, meaning these are technical people that understand the ins and outs of the entire infrastructure of Foundry. Now, Foundry has around hundreds and hundreds of different modules. I believe it's like 400 different modules. So there's a lot of different moving parts to what Foundry can actually do. And these experts are going to be skilled in Foundry, and there's a lot of different things to be skilled in. They will build and design new cutting-edge solutions, meaning the way I interpret this is, let's say you have 1,000 people who understand Foundry. They are in this innovation center that Accenture has full access to. So let's say Accenture is working with, I don't know, let's say Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola needs a particular solution based upon the data that Coca-Cola has, and they need to make sense of the data that they have. Let's say it's in raw materials, and they are using Foundry. Let's say, for example, I don't know if this is the case, this is just an example. And if they're using Foundry, but they need to create a very specific module that maybe doesn't exist, or maybe they don't know how to understand in order to make sense of better data to better understand the raw materials, they can call up Accenture. Accenture can use the Palantir expert that they got 1,000 of them that's in the studio, and then they can work together to create a solution that's real, that's innovative, that's unique, that's specific to the client, and that can actually allow to have their clients to have newfound value as a result of using Palantir Foundry. Which means the client doesn't just get the innovative solution that is Palantir Foundry integrated throughout their organization, giving them a better insight of their data and their analytical workflows, but now they get access to Accenture's studio of Palantir, let's say Foundry experts is what they're calling them. So if Coca-Cola is already working with Palantir integrating in their data, that's great. if they're working with Accenture, as Accenture is a consultant to Coca-Cola on like the largest problems that Coca-Cola needs to be solved, that's great. Now this partnership means Accenture can give you real-time updates, real-time solutions, real-time new ways to solve your problems because they have integrated experts on Foundry within Accenture's Innovation Center. Why is this relevant? Because if a lot of clients that Palantir has also are clients of Accenture, and this makes sense because 4 or 5 months ago, Accenture started recommending Palantir to their clients. I covered that a while back. Then that means that Palantir and Accenture have a lot of the same client base, and Accenture is probably getting them more and more clients. Jacobs Engineering, which is the consulting firm that Palantir signed a partnership with a couple of weeks ago, is also going to get Palantir a lot of clients because at the end of the day, Palantir is a data analytics platform. They're not a consulting firm, and these consulting firms needs to provide value to their clients. How do you provide value to their clients? You offer new solutions. You offer new ways of doing stuff. You give innovative, different, unique value propositions based upon things you can recommend, like software or data analytics platforms or specific types of data analytic platforms because you've got 1,000 people who can make them right away to your client. That's why this partnership makes a lot of sense, which means Palantir is going to get a lot of business from this. So let's keep going from here. Palantir Foundry is the operating system for the modern enterprise, grounding data analytics and business teams in a common foundation with flexible deployment that can meet companies wherever they're on their transformation journey. Foundry provides value from day one. So we know that. Accenture Applied Intelligence has a strong track record of driving data-powered AI and analytic solutions for customer engagement to pricing and B2B growth, which means AAI, Accenture Applied Intelligence, is like Accenture's way of how to give data analytics and data-driven insights to their clients. Accenture also brings deep expertise in a broad diversity of industries and contextual know-how on specific business processes, expediting the integration of a software-defined data platform like Foundry. This alliance with Palantir will enhance how we integrate disparate data sets, ensure high-quality data quality and richness, and apply new AI techniques to solve big problems, helping our clients get better insights and decisioning capabilities, says Sanjeev Vora, Global Lead, AAI. Now, expanding horizons. The intricate world of enterprise data plumbing, integrating complex data sets, systems, and applications demands solutions that can be deployed across an entire organization, adapt to a rapidly changing world, and enable users to configure workflows and use cases in hours or days rather than months and years. With this new partnership, Accenture will be able to merge its industry data and AI expertise, their AAI systems, with Foundry's powerful capabilities to not only help equip enterprises to face the new challenges of today, but also to power the growth of tomorrow. That means cha-ching in my ears. And the reason I'm saying that, and the reason, we're going to see how this plays out, we're going to see how this happens, this is kind of my hypothesis of it, is that consulting firms have lots of clients, and those clients want lots of solutions so that they can get more value for the millions of dollars they're paying to those consulting firms every month. When you've got AI and data at scale, and when we're entering a new generation, as I was talking to Sean from Invest Live, he works in the space. His whole job is convincing people to understand what your organization can look like when you can operationalize data, when you understand how data interacts at scale throughout the modern enterprise. Palantir is, I would say, the ultimate version of that. Palantir's entire vision is saying, hey, you can take your data, implement it into Palantir, and we can drive insights for your business. We can give you enhanced business intelligence, and we can do this in a myriad of different industries. They literally just launched satellites the other day into space with their combination with Satellogic. So, there's just so many different use cases for this. Accenture has a wide variety of clients. The reason I say cha-ching is because the way I think of this, and the way this should work if this partnership actually works out, is if Accenture has a ton of different clients, and Palantir has a really strong software that can be modularized and specifically applied to all of those different clients and all of those different use cases, all they have to do is work together to offer more solutions. Think about having a distribution and sales channel that literally spans hundreds of thousands of clients across the entire world, that all, and this is the key part, all are coming into the new era of modern digitization of their enterprise, right? They have to understand data, they have to operationalize data. All of that stuff is happening right now. That is the industry trend in this space, which is why I like having a lot of money in this space, because I want to be exposed to a sector of the economy that I know is rapidly growing. Cloud computing was growing in 2006, 2007, 2010. It made sense to invest in those companies at that time. Cloud computing is going to grow, but it's not growing at the level of data analytics because every company already has a lot of servers. They have a lot of cloud compute, right? It's still going to be relevant. It's still going to matter, but we're not at the inception of a whole new generation of how enterprises and modern enterprises ultimately interpret what they do with their data. The shift from physical servers to cloud servers was about 6, 7, 8 years ago when it was happening rapidly. Now I think the shift is going to be data that is siloed, with data that's coming together and getting insights from that. And if Accenture is able to accelerate the adoption of Palantir Foundry throughout all of these different clients, and all of these different clients want to now use Palantir in other use cases, this should mean cha-ching. This should mean more and more businesses that Palantir did not have access to now has a mainstay distribution network, i.e. Accenture, in which they're just pumping in their thousands of experts, and Accenture is pumping out more and more clients and more sales, or more and more leads for the sales teams to be able to close. And if they've already had a good experience working with Accenture and working with an Accenture Palantir Foundry client, then this should mean a phenomenal business partnership. I mean, and this is the world of business development. You need to work with different partners, and you need to be able to see how you can integrate something, how they can integrate something, how you guys can work together, and how you can give a dual form of legitimacy to a client. Accenture's business model is based upon providing value to clients. Palantir's business model is based upon selling really high gross margin software. They're a SaaS company. So in a world in which Accenture can provide value to their clients by recommending Palantir, and Palantir can capitalize on all the value that, or all the clients that they're being recommended and actually close those deals, this is something that can go well. Now, how could this go bad? I mean, the way I see this kind of going bad is if like the partnership doesn't make sense for a lot of clients. Like if a lot of clients of Accenture don't see the value in Palantir, they have a hard time with these Accenture/Palantir consultants being able to implement something in their organization. It takes too long for these things to get implemented. They don't like the solutions that are created. There's a myriad of different things that can go bad or wrong for this partnership to not work out. But at a baseline level, if you've got a distribution network like Accenture recommending you to a bunch of more clients, and you've got the ability to have 1,000 experts immediately create solutions for clients in the Palantir Foundry ecosystem, which these 1,000 Foundry experts are supposed to be experts at, then there is a massive opportunity here, I believe, for them to grow. I don't know if it shows up in the next earnings call because they just announced this, but maybe they were working on this a while back. Maybe 2-3 quarters from now, we really get to see the depth of growth that can happen. And we're looking for that inflection point, right? We're looking for that 50-60% quarter-to-quarter growth, and that's when we're going to know, oh, this is actually serious. Like the whole world is starting to adapt Palantir, and I think Wall Street is going to recognize that when that happens as well. So really amazing partnership. Dope stuff. Writing an article about it on dailypalantir.com. It might be out by the time you guys see it. We'll check the link in the description. And yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Palantir and Accenture, new partnerships. Stuff is looking pretty good for them. Let's see what happens long term. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.